Hello, what chart patterns should I look for when adding stocks to our watch list? You want it to be looking for, depending on your strategy, we are using long uptrend and swing trading strategy. Therefore, with that strategy, if you are using that strategy, you want it to be looking for upward chart or uptrending chart to work with. I don't really use a specific pattern per se, other than stocks needs to be growing, needs to be moving upward, and we are going to do some analysis together here. The first one is BAC to see if we like their chart patterns to add them to our 2026 watch list. We are using Think or Swim platform, and we are going to go to maximum monthly chart. BAC. So when we are looking at BAC here, we have the beginning of time that the Think or Swim platform has in history. The price is low compared to here, so that's good. Is growing. One second, we can see that from here up we have uptrending going on there, and if I want to touch the next two, it's going to go to that one, and if I continue to tracing, it's going to that one will be the correct one if it can actually seek. So it's uptrending for some years now, and if we are going to choose a valley line, this could well be the valley line. But now, with our strategy, we like to buy these stocks, the shares, when the price pull back to the valley line, the valley of the mountain, and start going up. The valley of the mountain is like the floor, at the bottom of the mountain, comes down and start going up from there. And we like to sell it. That's our entry point. We like to sell it after the new high is reached. And the new high, because we are using maximum monthly chart and maximum daily chart, maximum daily chart will show all-time new high. So when we are looking at maximum monthly chart here, we can see that all-time new high is so far back in the past, and is this year that is going to breach it, and there is a chance it might breach it this year. But since we like to see things and see there is a pattern that we can rely on, there is so many years between those that we don't know after it reached that new high and start going down, at what point is going to go even higher. We are not entirely sure, because frequently every few years is coming down to that valley line, but has not really exceeded that historical price yet. So therefore, unless you have a different strategy to sell it, maybe targeting the previous mountain peak to sell when you buy around the valley line, we do not have a clear exit point here to target. Now every year or every other year that is exceeding historical price for us to use as an exit point. For that reason, we are not going to add it to our watch list. And I don't like having a new high in the past compared to the present or current year. So if we go back here, I think so that is no, simple. So but we can see, I put a note here. So when you are doing your analysis and you are seeing some patterns that you like and some you don't like, you can try to see if you can have a formula. You can draw a formula out of it to write some notes for you to base on. So for instance, I put here that to look for a clear valley line for entry and a new high, which is, you know, all-time high, and I want to see that every year or every other year to consider that stock as a stock I want to swing trade. And there are some stocks that they reach a new all-time high every few years. So those, like every 3 years, every 4 years or something like that, those, if everything is, they met all the other criteria here, those could be something. If you decided to add it to your watch list, maybe you might have a short watch list of those. They could be like swing trading slash short-term investment. You use swing trading strategies to invest in those, but you know that you are going to keep them for more than a year, 2 years, 3 years before you sell them. So for one that we can buy this year and sell it this year or next year, preferably this year, you know, but some months later, we want to keep that in mind so that we are looking for those as well. And if you are seeing the ones that, you know, they take longer to reach that all-time new high, if we are counting on those as well, we can keep in mind the, you know, the one that we can make that quick profit this year, and then wait for that to pull back to the value line and buy. They are growing fast, so those might be one that are growing fast. And large cap stocks, some of them might be growing slowly, might take longer to breach that all-time high, take some to come back down, and take some to start over again. So, but again, we are trading large cap stocks, and the more we are analyzing it, the more we are seeing those patterns. So this is a note for us. The next one is WFC, and I like to see stocks that continue to grow, not stocks that have a higher price in the past and have not been able to replicate it and exceed it. And this follows within that category. They reach a higher peak here and has not been able to do it for years now. That's so many years. Every single line here is year time frame. The year is at the bottom from the past to the present, and the price is from 0 up. That is so many dotted line here to count, and it's like 2000, probably 2007 or so. Yeah, 2007 that it reached all-time high. How many years is that? And it has not been able to replicate it yet. WFC. So WFC is going up, but let's see if we have a clear value line here we can work with. Okay, that is low. So when we are looking at it, we have this peak, and reach it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4.5 years later, it exceeded it. Then it went up pretty much all the way to this number of years before it pulled back again, and has been doing the same thing. So when it left the support line, it can be on the rise for a while. So let's count between those two peaks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years that it has been on the rise here. That it was on the rise. 9 years. Took 3 years to come back down, and then when it left again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 years. Does it have 4 more years to continue going up? I'm not entirely sure. It breached this highest peak 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 years or so. It took that long to breach this highest peak, and then has been on the rise. That's good, but I don't want to swing trade this. What about you? I feel like it takes long. Again, it's growing, but it's taking time to grow. I don't know much about this company, and this is a little bit on is tilted up, but it's a little bit horizontal at the same time, and it's growing up, but it's taking about 9 years to to, I won't say 9 years per se, because it will exceed that highest peak before it will be done with it. It takes 9 years to be done climbing a mountain. It will have like 9 years of growth, 3 years dropping down, and probably have another 9 years of growth. I'm not entirely sure, because he has been on the rise here for 5 years or so. 5 years from here, it has been on the rise, and exceeded a year ago. Exceeded the previous peak a year ago, and has, so nothing is wrong with the stocks. It's just the strategy we are using. I think it's just a slow growing type of stocks that I do not want to trade. And I think we can put a note there for it, and we can just say slow growing stock. Nine years of growth, 3 years of pullback. And when I'm writing those, I'm okay making mistakes in my notes, because I just like to write something on it. So the next one we are going to do is RY. So RY is growing up. Let's see if we can see clear valley line here. Okay, I don't think it's going to follow that one again, because it has made so many years. I think this will be the valley line. Good. And we can see some obvious peak here. So we have this one, and we have those, we have this. They are kind of spaced out though, so let's see how many years we are seeing. But we can see that it's growing. We are seeing those obvious peak there. It tends to plateau a little bit too, and then we'll pull back. So let's see from where it is right now. From, if we assume this is it came close but didn't touch base with it well. In fact, one thing we can do is, let's update this one. Oh, what happened there? Because it has some tiny bar at the bottom of the stick, that's what this one touched base with. This one touching the bar itself got closer, so there's not much difference between the two. So it touched base with it. So we have 1 and 2 years here that it has been going up, that it left the valley 2 years ago. So here it left the valley 2 years ago, reached that peak and was done. So let's see, it exceeded this one within the same year that it left that peak. Oh no, a year later. So it took a year from that valley line right at the beginning of the year there, and close to the end of that year or the following year, it exceeded that peak and did it for 1 year. So when it left this one, a year later, it reached the peak, and a year, so it reached that peak within a year, pull back a little bit, but then start going up. So we are going to wait on it. I think this will be the valley line, and we can say that maybe after it pull back to the valley line and start going up, within, it can take about a year or so to exceed the previous high, and could continue climbing for about a year or so, and then we'll pull back. So, but to pull back though, it can take 2 years to pull back. I'm seeing it here as well, 2 years to pull back. So when it's done and want it to come back down, it can take 2 years to pull back, and it takes about 2 years to go up. So but we do have, do you see the new high? Yeah, remember to brush your teeth. So we see a new high. That's what I like. The new high needs to be close to the present. I don't like to have a peak of a mountain lower after the new high. I don't even know if it makes sense what I'm talking about. But you see this new high here is, I will expect that to be in 2024 or in 2025. But now, some years before, and then having, some mountain that didn't exceed that price. So I like to see the new high in the current year or previous year to be fine with it. That shows that you are still having a growth, higher price. And that is one thing. And then trying to see how many years it takes for that to climb up, how many years it takes to climb down. So this one we are going to color coded, and this is going to be a yes to add to our watch list, although we don't know if you will be able to buy it at all in 2026, because if it's taking 2 years to go up, 2 years to go down, and this will be, we can just put good chart, and we will put 2 years to go up and 2 years to go down for it. So TD, so TD, we are seeing growth. Okay, so compared to what I was saying earlier, do you see this new high here? Is in the past, compared to those peak here, is now that is going to breach it. So how many years is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. It took 4 years to be able to exceed it, and you can see those drop here. But let's trace our valley lines here. So it's respecting this line, although it went a little bit below it some years. This is the line, is respecting that valley line, and it went up here, pull back. Okay, this is a higher price, pull back a little bit, continue making a higher here without touching base with it. So therefore 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years from here, it has been on the rise for 6 years. It pulled back within a year, and then 1, 2, 3 years. So it pulled back within a year, went back up for 3 years, took a year again to pull back, and then continue going up. Quickly within that same year, it exceeded the previous high, good, and then has been on the rise for a year, and it was done. So 1 year to pull back, 2 years to go up, continue growing, and then now from there it took 1, 2, 3 years to come down, and then now start going up. So it takes about 2 years to be done going up. It has been on that rise for a year now. This year, it started this year. So, and it has not been breached here. That is interesting fact. And I could try it. Here is what I'm thinking here. It has been on the rise. It has not reached the highest peak yet. When it reached the highest peak, it can continue for a year before it will be done. So it has been on the journey now since 2025. and it has now breached that previous high yet. For that reason, the reason why I'm saying that is with those stocks that are taking so long to be done growing and then pull back, if we come across it after it left the valley, will we be able to buy? And I think this, we can test that with this stock, for instance, because we know it can take about 2 years. When it touches base with the valley line, it can take 2 years to grow and then a year to pull back. Although it took 2 years, 3 years to pull back here, and it has been growing. And if we assume it might grow for 1 year or 2 years, it has been doing it, but it has now reached that peak yet, we might buy some. And then after it reached that peak, it might continue to grow for some more. So now let's go to, if we are going to buy it though, let's go to maximum daily chart. So, and that is a risky move. So we are looking at maximum daily chart here. You can see that it's very close to it. So it pulled back to that valley line and start going up from there. Is well far from it. And we know it's going up. So now let's see what it's doing. So we have, if we are going to buy that high, and that is just going to test our strategy in case we come across a stock that we know we will want it to add it to our watch list, but it has left where we will want to buy it, and we know it's not going to come back to that valley line anytime soon. Will we want to buy it? And that is what we want to practice with this one. So this one, we could be wrong, but you won't know until you try, right? Okay, so what I'm seeing is already 3 bar in. I'm going to keep observing it. When I see a pullback, a red bar, a pullback, because this is higher than this, is higher than this, and so forth. So it's growing up. I'd like to see a red bar. Let's see, we have a red bar 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3, in average every 3 days. So if let's say today is a red bar and then tomorrow is a green bar, we might buy a share tomorrow and just hold on to it and see. Why not? To try something like that, you might just buy 1 share. And so now let's go back to maximum monthly chart where we are looking at it. So, and my previous concern was this high was past in the past, but now by looking at it, we know that it takes just that long. Here is kind of unusual though. It took quite a bit of years to go down, but we can buy it. And after it reached that new high, we can try to say if we can stay in the, how long we can stay in the trade before we sell it. I think this is going to be a yes to keep in our watch list, knowing that it takes about a year to come down, a year to 3 years to come down, 2 years of growth. Yeah, 2 years of growth. Although here was 1 year of growth, and I think this one was 2 years of growth, but this one was kind of stale here though. So a year of growth is, I think, a year of growth, 2 years to come down. So 2 years to come down, 1 year to, let's see, like after you reach now 1 year of, I will say 2 years of growth, but 1 year of higher peak. Does that make sense? This area, it breached this peak and then continue higher for a year. So 2 years to come down, 2 years to grow, 1 year of higher peak. So 2 years of growth, including 1 year of new highs, and 2 to 3 years of pullback or drop. Let's just put it like that. So this is going to be a yes. So I think I'm just going to put a okay there, and I'm going to probably change that so that I know that that's something I like to keep an eye on to see if I want to test that in case we come across stocks that we catch midpoint, if we would like to buy. But again, it might work for one stock. Does that mean it's going to work for all? Although it left that for a while now. So this one is respecting this line. From here, if we continue going up, this is not too far from this one. If we are going to buy, this is going to be the line. Okay, so we have a new high closer than this one. So now let's see. It pulled back here. It took this so many years to pull back again. This is kind of flat. So this peak is higher, and then this one is even higher, okay? And this one is higher. So it's taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years from peak to peak. Those peaks are not close to each other. 1, 2, 3, 4 years for this one. 1, 2, 3 for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm seeing 3 years, about 3 years between peak and peak, and about the valley is even wider. So when it reach, in fact, not really, because if it didn't touch base with it and then make those higher peak, is like 12 years type of things before it came back here. That's so it took so long. I mean it's but the growth here is just kind of flat. Do you see those peak? I don't know how to express it. I don't know. Nothing is wrong with the stocks, but I'm not just seeing that growth that I want to rely on. It's kind of flat here. We are using uptrend lines to trade. I want to be seeing uptrend growth. So this is, yes, there is growth here. Those mountains are higher than each other, but they are just close to each other. They are within range here. And it took about 12 years or so to come back down, plateau there, and 12 years to come down. There is growth there, but that growth is just slow for me. So when I'm seeing this here is on the rise, it didn't touch base with it. So that means when it left here, it's not done. It's pretty much doing these things here, somewhere here as well, or maybe these things here, somewhere here, and then do higher up again for a few more years before it will come down. Nothing wrong with it, but I'm not going to add it to my watch list. So if I'm going to rate it, I'm just going to put slow growth. $12 years within cycle or so. So that is how we are going to do this analysis. And I think a model that we analyzed today, 2 could go to our 2026 preliminary watch list for now, RY and TD. So thank you so much for watching our videos. We thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your comments, and thank you very much for subscribing to our channel. I'm Afiavi Liberman, Cross of Liberman Consulting L.L.C YouTube channel, and NinaSoap.com our blog. On our channel and on our blog, we share different ways to save money and different ways to make money to reach your financial independence, where you do not depend on an employer to provide for your family. And swing trading is one way to make money. It's just that small, and grow your account from there. For more swing trading tips or how to create your own watch list for swing trading, will you please check the playlist in the description of this video. Thank you very much.